Good afternoon. Today we will be beginning the first topic of our next unit, which is relations. So before we begin relations, we have to first understand what do you mean by a set. So what is the reason we have to understand what do you mean by a set? Because relation is a subset of a Cartesian product. So for that reason, let's see what is a set. So set is basically an unordered pair of elements. Set is an unordered pair of elements, and whenever you have two sets A and B and they contain some elements, then we have something known as the Cartesian product A cross B. So this is known as, these A and B are sets, while A cross B is the Cartesian product. Now A cross B is basically the set of all ordered pairs A comma B, where small a belongs to the set A and B belongs to the set B. Now, if we take an example of the Cartesian product, if we take the set A as 1, 2 and the set B as A, B, C. Now, in this case, what will be A cross B? We have to find what is A cross B. So A cross B will be denoted as an ordered pair from both from A, where A belongs to capital A and B belongs to capital B, or the set A and set B. So here we have to create the ordered pair. So 1 comma A, then 1 comma B, 1 comma C. Then the next element from the set A, which is 2, and create all the ordered pairs with B, 2A, 2B and 2C. This is the Cartesian product. Now, why do we study Cartesian product for a relation? Whenever we have a subset R, of the Cartesian product, so R is a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B, this is called a relation. This is called a relation. And this element, the relation R, is an ordered pair where the first element belongs to A and the second element belongs to B. Okay, so this is the basic definition of relation. Now we will study the formal definition of relation. So if A and B be the sets, a binary relation, why are we calling it binary? Because there are two sets A and B and we are considering a relation on them. So for that reason, we consider them as binary relation. And from set A to set B is a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. So whenever we are considering two sets A, B, then the relation R is a subset of the Cartesian product. That is, it is denoted in this way. R is a subset of A cross B. Example, if A is 0, 1, 2, B is A comma B, then A cross B in this case, let me write it over here, will be 0A, 0B, 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. This is A cross B and the R relation is a subset. So it has 0A, 0B, 1A, 2B. It does not have 1b and 2a. So it does not have these elements. So it is a subset of your A cross B. In other words, for a binary relation R, we have R is a subset of A cross B, and we use the notation ARB. Now what is this ARB says? ARB denotes that A comma B belongs to R. So this symbol is in this way, A comma B belongs to R. And whenever we want to say that A comma B does not belong to R, in that case we write we write a slash over R to denote that it does not belong to R. So that is A comma B does not belong to R. Okay. So binary relations represent relationships between the element of two sets. So when we are speaking about binary relations, they only represent relationship between two sets, and we will also study about n-ary relations, which are more than two sets. So let's see the next functions as relations. The next topic is functions as relations. So before that, we have to understand what is a function. Function is basically that whenever we are using sets, with respect to that, if A and B are non-empty sets and a function f from A to B is an assignment of exactly one element of B to each element of A. So this can be denoted by this example. Suppose if we have a set A with elements A, B, C and a set B with the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and if we have A is mapped to 1, B is mapped to 2 and C is mapped to 4, then this is a function from the set A to set B. Okay. Now, if in the other case, if we have a mapping of this type A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, the same elements, but A is mapped to 1, A is mapped to 1 and A is mapped to 2, B is mapped to 3 and C is mapped to 4. In this case, this is not a function. Why is it not a function? Because we have to assign only one element of B to each element of A. Here, we are assigning two elements of B to one element of A. So in this case, this is not a function. Now, we are supposed to study the topic functions as relations. So a function f from set A to set B assigns a unique element of B to each element of A. And how do we denote the function? We denote it by writing f of A is equal to B. The graph of f is the set of ordered pairs A comma B such that f of A is equal to B or B is equal to f of A. And also, this is also a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. So it is also considered as a relation from A to B. And also for each element of set A, there is exactly one ordered pair in the graph that has A as its first element. Okay. So this is the definition for functions as relations. Then the next thing is, if R is a relation from A to B, then every element in A is the first element of exactly one ordered pair of R. So if we have A to B relation, then every element of A is the first element of the ordered pair. Now what do you mean by this? Suppose we were considering the relation R is equal to 0A, 1B, 2B from the sets A is equal to 0, 1 and the set B is equal to A, B, C. Now in this case, you can notice that every element of A is the first element of your ordered pair. So we have to consider this as one only. Okay, so every element of A is the first element of the ordered pair. And this can also be represented by using a graph also. The next thing is, whenever this is done, we show that element A belongs to A and the element B belongs to B. Now, when we are studying about relations, we also consider, suppose if we are considering the relation R such that we have A comma B belongs to some binary relation. So this is your relation. Instead of R, I am taking S. You can represent it with any letter. In that case, the elements of A, okay, the element A which belongs to the set capital A, this is called the domain, while the element B which belongs to the set capital B, this is called the range. Okay, and if we have two sets A and B, then each of them respectively are known as the domain and range. Now the next thing is, whenever we have the sets, they can be represented by using a graph also. Also, we can write the sets in this way. Suppose if X is a set of the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and R is a defined in this way, X comma Y. R is a set of the elements X comma Y such that X belongs to the set X and Y belongs to the set X and X minus Y is an integral non-zero multiple of 2. Now, what does this question mean? We are saying we are supposed to create a relation of X cross X, or we are supposed to consider the Cartesian product X cross X, and based on this we are supposed to create a relation which is a subset of this. So this set X cross X is called the universal relation on X. Okay, so we are supposed to consider both the domain and the range from this set only. Let's see the solution. What is the main condition? The main condition is this: X minus Y is a integer non-zero multiple of 2. So basically, when we are considering X comma Y, whenever we subtract X from Y, then it should be a multiple of 2. So let's take it. If we take X as 1, Y as 3, then if we perform 1 minus 3, it will be equal to minus 2. Okay. Minus 2, is it a multiple of 2? Yes, it is a multiple of 2. Is it an integer? Yes, it is an integer. So we can take 1 comma 3. Can we take 1 comma 1? What about 1 comma 1? If we perform 1 comma 1, if we are taking 1 comma 1, then 1 minus 1 is equal to 0, and we are supposed to take non-zero multiples of 2. So we skip 1 comma 1. The next is, can we take 1 comma 2? 1 minus 2, it is equal to 1. So 1 is not a multiple of 2, so we are leaving 1 comma 2. We directly proceeded with 1 comma 3. The next will be 1 comma 4. 1 comma 4 will result in 1 minus 4, 3, which is not a multiple of 2. So we are skipping that also. Next, what about 2 comma 1? 2 comma 1 will give you 2 minus 1 1, so it is not possible. What about 2 comma 2? It will give you x minus y 0, not possible. 2 comma 3, still 1. 2 comma 4, it is giving you 2. Okay, 2 minus 4 will give you minus 2. It is an integer and it is non-zero, so you can write 2 comma 4. Now the next thing is, let's begin with the 3. 3 comma 1, it will give you 3 minus 1 2, in multiple of 2, so we can consider 3 comma 1. What about 3 comma 2? 3 minus 2 1, not a multiple. 3 comma 3 0, we are not supposed to take 0, so we are leaving that. 3 comma 4, still 1 minus 1, and it is not a multiple. Next, consider 4 comma 1. 4 minus 1 will give us 3, not a multiple of 2. 4 comma 2 will give us 2. It is a multiple of 2, so let's mention 4 comma 2. Okay, so this is an concept known as universal relation on X, and this is an example of creating a relation. Similarly, we can consider integral non-zero multiple of 3 also. So let's see that example. So for integral multiple of 3, directly I am writing the set. You can verify it for yourself. The relation will be 1 comma 4, 4 comma 1. No other ordered pair will satisfy this condition that it should be a integral non-zero multiple of 3. Okay, so this is the solution. Now the next thing is, whenever we have given two sets, and based on that, if we are creating a relation, then we can perform union and intersection on those relations. So let's consider two relations. If R is 1 comma 3, 3 comma 1, 2 comma 4, 4 comma 1, 2 comma 2, and S is the relation 1 comma 4, 4 comma 1, and 2 comma 2. Now in this case, R union S will be all the elements of R and S, and the one which is being repeated twice should be written only once. So it will be 1 3 3 1, 2 4, 4 1, 2 2, and 1 4. So this is R union S. What about R intersection S? R intersection S will be the elements which are being repeated in both the sets. So here we have 1 4 4 1, they are not the same. So 1 4 4 1 are not the same, but this 4 1 and 4 1 is repeated twice, and 2 2 and 2 2 is repeated. So these are the common elements. So R intersection S will give you 4 1 2 2. Okay. The next thing is relations on a set. A relation on a set A is a relation from A to A. So basically, a relation on the set A, which we have just studied, A cross A, is a universal set. So a relation on the set A is a subset of A cross A. Let's see, let A is equal to 1 2 3 4. Which ordered pairs are in the relation are A comma B, A less than B, such that A is less than B. So if we see this, we are supposed to create the relation in such a way that the element A should be less than the element B. So for this, we will get the relation R in this way. 1 comma 2, 1 is less than 2, so yes. 1 comma 1, no, we can't write 1 comma 1 because 1 is not less than 1. So we'll begin the relation with 1 comma 2. 1 comma 3 is also valid, 1 comma 4. Then 2 comma 1 is not valid and also not 2 comma 2. Then we will write 2 comma 3, 2 comma 4, and then 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3. All of these are not valid. 3 comma 4, and then 4 comma 1 till 4 comma 4 are not valid. So this is the relation R such that it satisfies this property. Now let's see that, and we can also represent the relations by using a graph like structure. So let's see that. The solution, we can't take 1 comma 1, so we are taking 1 comma 2. Then we have mapping 1 to 2, and we are also representing it in this table. So we are taking 1 and 2. Then the next thing, 1 comma 3, similarly mapping along with the table 1 comma 4. After that, we can't take 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2 because it does not satisfy the condition. So we will take 2 comma 3 directly. Then we are mapping 2 and 3, and then 2 comma 4. Then lastly, we cannot take 3 comma 1, 2, 3. We can only take 3 comma 4. So the mapping is done and we are crossing it over here. Then the next is relations on set. So we have a few questions that we can explain it. How many different relations can we define on a set A with n elements? So a relation on a set A is basically a subset of A cross A. So R is basically a subset of A cross A, which is considered as the universal relation. So let's see that. A relation on a set A is a subset of A cross A. How many elements are in A cross A? So for that, if we have n elements in A, then how many elements will be there? So let's take an example for that. If A consists of 0 comma 1, the set A consists of 0 comma 1, then what will be A cross A? A cross A will be 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Now in this case, if you notice, if there are 2 elements in A cross A had 4 elements. So basically it will be n square. Okay, if we have 3 elements, then you will have 9 elements in the Cartesian product A cross A. There are n square elements in A cross A. So how many subsets does relation on A does A cross A have? In this case, we can easily mention that R will be a subset of A cross A. R is a subset of A cross A. The number of subsets that we can form out of a set with m elements is 2 power m. Okay, so if we are trying to find the number of subsets, we have studied this in sets that if we have a set with m elements, then we can get 2 power m subsets. So if we have n square elements in A cross A, then we will get 2 power n square subsets out of the Cartesian product. Okay. Then the next topic is properties of binary relation. So the properties of binary relations, a relation can have different properties, and there are several properties that we usually use to classify a relation on a set. The most important properties that are described are as follows: reflexive, symmetric, and antisymmetric. Symmetric will have antisymmetric along with it, and we also have irreflexive, so with reflexive we will also have irreflexive, and along with symmetric we will also have asymmetric, and then lastly we will study transitive. So these are the important properties of a binary relation. Let's see the first one, which is reflexive relation. Reflexive relation is basically defined in this way. For any element A which belongs to the set A, then if A comma A belongs to R, then it is known as reflexive. So let's see the definition. A relation R on a set A, it is called a reflexive relation if for every element A which belongs to your set A comma A should belong to R. So how can we consider with an example? If we have a set A with the elements 0, 1, then the relation R should have the ordered pair 0, 0 and 1, 1. Then only it can be considered as a reflexive relation. Any relation on this set A should always contain 0, 0, 1, 1. Then only it is called as reflexive relation. Now let's see the definition and example. So a relation R on a set A is called reflexive if for every element A belongs to A comma A belongs to R. Now we are supposed to check for a few relations. Are the following relations on the set 1, 2, 3, 4 reflexive? Now for this, the question is 1, 1. The relation R consists of 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3 and 4, 4. Now what is A comma A for every element of this set? It should contain 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4. So any relation, if it contains all these ordered pairs, then it can be considered as reflexive. So let's check for the same. Yeah, so for our relation R, does it have 1, 1? Yes, it has 1, 1. What about 2, 2? It does not contain 2, 2. There is 1, 2, but there is no 2, 2. So in this case, since we do not have the ordered pair 2, 2, this relation R is not reflexive. So this is not reflexive. Okay. So we have mentioned that no, it is not reflexive. Now after that, let's see the another relation, which is whether it is reflexive or not. So this relation, it has 1, 1, it has 2, 2, it has 2, 3, okay, but it has 3, 3 and 4, 4. Even though it has 2, 3, but apart from that, it has all these ordered pairs A comma A, then this is a reflexive relation. So this can be called as a reflexive relation. When we are considering whether a relation is reflexive or not, we are supposed to consider only if we have A comma A belongs to R. If there are any other ordered pairs apart from it, even then we consider that relation as reflexive relation. Now the next relation, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So it has the first three ordered pairs. But what about 4, 4? It does not have 4, 4. So no, it is not a reflexive relation. No, it is not a reflexive relation. Now we will see the definition of irreflexive. A relation on a set A is called irreflexive if A comma A does not belong to R for every element on A. So it is irreflexive if A comma A should not belong to R. So over here, in all the cases, we have A comma A belongs to R 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. We don't have 4, 4 belongs to R. So this can be considered as irreflexive. This is not a reflexive. So basically it is the opposite of a reflexive relation. Whichever relation is reflexive, it cannot be irreflexive. Okay. Now the next thing is symmetric relation. Symmetric relation can be defined in this way. A relation R on a set A is called symmetric if A comma B belongs to R, then B comma A should also belongs to R. Okay, this is the implication sign. So if A comma B is in R, then B comma A should also be in R. So if for this relation, we can take the example of this. If we have a relation, if we have a set A with elements 0, 1, 2, and in the relation R, suppose if we have 0, 1, then definitely 1, 0 should be there in the set. Then it is known as a symmetric relation. Along with that, we also have antisymmetric and asymmetric, which are the similar properties with symmetric relations. So we will see the following. A relation R on a set A is called symmetric if B comma A belongs to R whenever A comma B belongs to R. Both A and B are in the set A, capital A. Now, let's see about antisymmetric. Antisymmetric is if A comma B belongs to R and also B comma A belongs to R, then A should be equal to B. We will see this with an example in the next slide. For now, just remember the condition that in the case of, this is for antisymmetric and asymmetric. In the case of symmetric, the only condition was if A comma B is in A, is in R, then B comma A should also be in R. In the case of antisymmetric, this is for antisymmetric. If A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R, then we have A should be equal to B. And this is for asymmetric. A comma B belongs to R implies B comma A does not belongs to R. So this is the opposite of your symmetric relation. It is similar to the irreflexive relation that we have just studied. Let's see the definition. A relation R on a set A is called antisymmetric if A is equal to B. Whenever both A comma B and B comma A are there and A is also equal to B, then that relation is called antisymmetric. And a relation R on a set A is called asymmetric if A comma B belongs to R and also B comma A belongs to R. Now we have to check, are the following relations symmetric, antisymmetric or asymmetric? Let's see this. The relations are on the same set 1, 2, 3, 4. For this set, the first is 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3 and 4, 4. So we have A comma B. Okay. Let's consider A comma B as 1, 1. Do we have B comma A? What do you mean by B comma A? B comma A will also be 1, 1, which is in the set. So fine with this element. Then the next element is 1, 2. For 1, 2, if A is 1, B is 2, then we should have 2, 1 in our set. So we have 1, 2 and we also have 2, 1. Now for this element 2, 1, 1, 2 should be there in the set. It is there. So we can proceed with the next element 3, 3. 3, 3 is AB, then B, A will also be 3, 3. So this is also present in the set. And with the same way with 4, 4. So for all the elements A, B, B, A is also present in the set. So this set is symmetric. Now, what about antisymmetric? In the case of antisymmetric, our condition is, let me mention it over here. For antisymmetric, if A comma B and B comma A both are in the set, then A is equal to B. Okay, let's verify that condition. we have 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1 and A is equal to B. So this is valid with respect to antisymmetric. But what about 1 comma 2? Is A equal to B? No, in this case it is not. So it is not antisymmetric. And what about asymmetric? It is the opposite of symmetric. So if a relation is symmetric, it cannot be asymmetric at the same time. Let's see the next question. This is symmetric. Now the next one is 1 comma 1. Simply the ordered pair 1 comma 1. In this case, we have to check for first symmetric. A comma B is 1 comma 1 and B comma A is also 1 comma 1. So it is symmetric. What about antisymmetric? Antisymmetric, we have to check A is equal to B for antisymmetric. So antisymmetric, does it satisfy? Yes, 1 is equal to 1, so it is also antisymmetric. What about asymmetric? No, if it is symmetric, it cannot be asymmetric at the same time. So let's see the solution. It is symmetric and antisymmetric. Then the next is 1 comma 3, 3 comma 2 and 2 comma 1. In this case, we have 1 comma 3. Do we have 3 comma 1? No. So we don't have, let's write it over here. No 3 comma 1. Okay, so it is not symmetric. Not symmetric. Now what about antisymmetric? For antisymmetric, if A comma B belongs to R and B comma A belongs to R, then A is equal to B. Why am I writing this entire thing? I'll show you in a moment. So over here, we have A comma B, 1 comma 3. Do we have 3 comma 1? No, we don't have 3 comma 1. Then even if A is not equal to B, it is antisymmetric for this element. Similarly, for the next element, we have 3, 2, but we don't have 2, 3. So we don't need to verify this condition A is equal to B in this case. So, okay. Then the next one is 2 comma 1. We don't have 1 comma 2. We don't need to verify the A is equal to B condition, because if you remember the rule for conjunction, if both of them are true, then only your entire thing will be true. But here one of them is not present in the relation. So you don't need to check for A is equal to B. So this is actually antisymmetric. The relation R is antisymmetric. What about asymmetric? Since it is not symmetric, it is obviously asymmetric. Next, let's see the next relation. We have 4 comma 4, 3 comma 3, 1 comma 4. In this case, we have the elements 4 comma 4, okay, and we have the elements 3 comma 3. But what about 1 comma 4? For 1 comma 4, do we have 4 comma 1 for it to be symmetric? No, we don't have 4 comma 1, so it is not symmetric. What about antisymmetric? 4 comma 4, A is equal to B, 4 is equal to 4, okay. 3 comma 3, A is equal to B, fine. For 1 comma 4, since we don't have 4 comma 1, we don't need to check the property of A is equal to B. No need to check this. Why? Because we don't have this element. So in this case, it is antisymmetric. So this is antisymmetric. What about asymmetric? Asymmetric is when we have over here 4 comma 4, 3 comma 3, and we have 1 comma 4. But in this case, if you notice, 4 comma 4 and 3 comma 3 satisfy the property A comma B, B comma A. So this set is a special scenario where it is not symmetric, but it is also not asymmetric. Okay, so it is simply antisymmetric. So these are the two relations. We will continue with the next relation in the next class. Thank you.